There is this one lesson that almost every parent wishes to pass on to their children. Yet so few parents actually succeed at teaching their children that you can do anything you put your mind to. You want to be an astronaut? Fine. Pursue it. Do it. You can do it. I believe in you. The other part of it is that every parent, I believe, fundamentally wants to teach their kid or kids that you can turn your ideas into reality. Your ideas aren't just something in your imagination that is forever trapped in there. It can actually, if you put your mind to it, be turned into reality. So let's talk about why do so many parents fail at teaching their kids this vital lesson that will impact the rest of their lives. Well, it's actually a societal issue. It's like an issue that spans across the entire society. It's not just you, but you have the power to change it. So the issue I think we're facing here, I want to share with you a thought exercise, I guess. So I believe that there has to be, in order for like action to occur and in order for you to be successful, basically get results in whatever thing you decide to pursue, there needs to be a connection between your head, your heart, and your hands. So this kind of analogy, or whatever you want to call it, is a very like successful thought leader in our local community here in Denmark who has come up with this idea. And essentially, if you only have head, which is theory, and you're good at maybe recognizing patterns, and you're good at and understanding theory and doing math problems, and all the things you might think of as the head, but you don't have a connection between your hands and your head and your heart, you're missing the hands. And many people are in this bucket. They have a heart, they have a sense of, I need to do this. This is what feels right for me. And the heart thing is what guides you. You always say like, choose from the heart, or listen to your heart when you're deciding which thing to pursue, whatever. And many people don't do this. They listen to the money, they listen to the society about what to do, and that's a shame. But many people are stuck even when they know how to listen to their heart. And it's because they're missing the third thing. They're missing the connection to the hands. Many people, and this is what school teaches. School, they sit you down on a bench and they say, here, listen to this theory that thousands of people have found out about physics and about chemistry and about about that's Danish and English and all these languages you have to learn. And the kids sit here on the table and they can't screw in a screw. They can't put two boards together. They can't make a basic drawing. They can't do anything. Their motor skills are completely off the window, off the rails. And it's a shame, because why is it that this is happening? Okay, so our society right now is built for the industrial age, and essentially 200 years ago, this thing called the steam engine, and people started moving from the countryside, from the family farms, and they started moving into the city because now there were factories. And imagine living out in the countryside on a farm. The skills you needed there were a broad set of skills. You needed to know how to make cheese. You needed to know how to milk a cow and feed the cow and use a shear. And you needed to know how to make fence posts and how to forge an axe head. And you needed to know all sorts of things. Then you got into the city. And the only thing you needed to know is how to clean floors with a broom. Or the only thing you needed to know was how to pour iron into this thing where it was cast into like a industrial part for some piece of mechanics. So you needed to know one thing. So the industrial age, the industrial revolution, revolutionized how we work. Now it didn't matter if you have 100 skills, you were a jack of all trades. The only thing that mattered was that you had specialized knowledge in one particular field, and that was what you were paid for. So the industrial system taught you need to acquire highly specialized skills and trade those skills for money. And that is how you get rich. And that is kind of a lie. Maybe it wasn't back then, but it certainly is now. There's been multiple revolutions, the digital revolution, one of them being one of them, and this revolution has changed the game. You're seeing it now with another revolution, the AI revolution, which is, we haven't even seen anything of it yet. But what I want to talk to you guys about is the fact. I think it's a fact, and you might disagree, but I think it's a fact. All the history I've seen points towards that this is a fact, that we're being taught this school system that built on the shoulders of Adam Smith's theorem about if we all specialize and trade with each other, the entire productivity increases. Which is a good theory, but it was for another age. So we're sitting here in school, and this is the thing that I'm the most sick about. We're sitting in school and we're learning all these things about all this theory, but we're basically flipping helpless. If we have to do anything in the real world, like write an email to a real person and propose a deal for something, we can't do that, but we can write all sorts of great poems and things, and we know how to use some theorem about how to argument and how to put together an argument and stuff, but we have never really used it. We've never really put these things into practice. So another thing is, why does theory exist? Theory exists to complement reality. What is theory when you break it down? Okay, so you went out and you did some work, right? You tried to build a house, but then you find out that the whole thing like collapses. And then you kind of, so the theory is made to describe reality. It's made so that you can take this theory and then apply it to reality. The thing is, we never really learn reality. We just learn a bunch of theory, and then we keep doing that. We climb up the ladder: high school, further education, bachelor, candidate, PhD, master degree, whatever. And we keep climbing this ladder of just learning more theory. And the thing that this guy talked about, the thought leader, he's built multiple eco-villages, like he's revolutionizing how we live in smaller, sustainable houses, and he has like really influenced thousands of people here in our local community. And he doesn't have like any further education, but he teaches at the university in the big city here. And he says that these engineers that he's teaching, right? He's teaching about like alternative methods of building, where you have a house that kind of holds itself because you have these planks going all the way around, and the whole thing is sets down. And these kinds of alternative ways of building. And these engineers, he says, that are just coming out of their education, 5 years they've been educated, have a master's degree in engineering, and they're shit. They don't know, they can't put two things together. And let's bring this back to, I hope you see where I'm going with this and the red line between what I'm saying here. Because let's go back to what I said in the beginning. Every parent wants to teach their kid, you can do anything you want to do. But the thing is, that's not true. Or it is actually true in this current time that we're in. With technology, you can do anything you want. But all the skills that we're teaching these kids are basically, it's like, you can do anything you want, child, as long as it is either studying law or studying medicine. That is, that is in a nutshell. That's what we're saying to our kids. Or I guess not everyone, but many people. It's like, you can do anything, but still we have these strict expectations that you have to go down the traditional path of education. And that's a freaking scam, especially in countries like the United States, where you have to pay for your education. And I guess in Denmark we have incredibly high tax, and we get the education for free, or not for free. We pay it in our taxes. I'm not saying that's a great system either. There's problems with both, but in Denmark there's definitely an argument to be had. You can to like pursue the education because now you're getting it for free. But yeah, how do we teach our kids that they can do anything they want? It starts with this connection between the head, the heart, and the hands. We want to make sure that our kids have this trifecta. And the head part, many have. The heart part is difficult, I think, if it's not like native to your child to have a sense of, I want to do this. But it's just about really, sometimes it takes time to find what you really want to do. You have to go down some path where you realize, okay, I wasted a year doing this thing because I realized I really want to do this thing. But every time it's like the layers of an onion. You like go further into the center of the onion, and you find the purpose, or you find what it is your passion in the middle. And that's my experience, and I have talked with other people who have had the same experience. So the thing that's missing now is the hands. We need to teach the children that they can get an idea, and then they can go out and build it. They can build a prototype instantly. And they can use the things that they have, the materials they have available. So how do we teach them to use their hands? Well, it's not something that you can teach from reading a book, unfortunately. You don't pick up a book and it's like, you move your hand here and then you take the nail and then it's just something that the mind has to be conditioned to learn. You have to go out and do it. So you have to create an environment for your kids where they use their hands. And there are multiple things that you want to keep in mind when you're doing this. It's not just like, because you want to make it meaningful also. You want there to be, when you tell your kid, I'll give you like a quick framework for getting attention. So there's actually a two-part framework for doing this. First step is getting attention from your children. And the second step is keeping their attention. So we're talking about now, if you want to engage your children in projects, this could be, I've grown up my entire life doing small projects. That means made a forge and started a blacksmith shop when I was like 10 or 12. Beekeeping, sold honey at the road. All kinds of animals, sold firewood, sold different things, right? So these are small projects. These are like what you would call side hustles. And you don't have to think have the money component, the business component in it. You can make other things. Let's build an ancient shear pot. It's like a pot that keeps your vegetables cool. That's an interesting thing. This is how they kept food cold for like thousands of years ago. And then you can the reward would maybe be like the soda that you put in the simple refrigerator and then drank that. So you have keeping attention, you have getting attention and keeping attention. Getting attention is about make it interesting, make it important and interesting. So you have to build intrigue. Instead of saying, hey, want to play with clay? Then find a project that actually speaks to something. Let's say you have watched Alone in the Wilderness. which is a series where they have to survive in the wilderness, then say, let's build the shelter from the series, that the guy who survived the longest out in the wilderness, he built this shelter. Let's build that shelter, and then let's make a fire, and then try and make 4 different kinds of fires, because they're different ones. You can build them in different ways, right? So that is one way to do it, and make it important. Build a fictional narrative of why you're doing the thing and why it's basically life or death. So let's say, yeah, we're out in the wilderness and we have to build this shelter before the sun goes down, because otherwise this bear will come and eat us. Or we don't have, if you don't make this refrigerator, simple refrigerator, we will not be able to store this fish that we caught, and we will starve, basically. So these are fictional narratives that you can create from, yeah, your imagination. And then it's keeping attention. So now you've caught their attention, it's keeping their attention. You want to have a payoff. You want to have something, a payoff at the end. And this can sometimes be a bit hard to think about, but like, let's just have a little thing at the end, which is like the carrot in front of them always. So it could be like, okay, we have stored this soda and now you get to drink it in the cool place. Or we have built the shelter, now you get to sleep in it for a night, or whatever. Or you get to invite your friends over to the shelter. The last thing is make it fun. So how do you make it fun? It's like the little things are often the things that make it fun. My sister and her mother were like making marmalade or jam, and so yeah, cooking the strawberries and putting the sugar down. And they could have just stopped there. They could have just followed the recipe, I guess, for the jam, put it on the jars, and that was it. But they paid attention to detail. This was not something that they had to do, but they made labels with names on it for the people that they were going to gift this jam. And also it became like a practice of writing for my 7-year-old little sister. So yeah, like make labels with the person who are going to receive this jam. And you can do all sorts of things with making it beautiful and everything. So the small things are often what makes it fun. Yeah, that is the framework that I try to use, and I want to try to use when I get children of my own, to get them engaged in projects, because the engagement in projects part is very important, because that is where your kids know and learn that that if they get an idea, oh, we want to build this, then they can actually do it because they've done it before. They have not done it they've done it with the sheer pot, and they've done it with the shelter. So now when they get the idea of, I want to build a small business where I like sell these things for covering up your garbage cans, like outside, you want to build this little fence around it. Okay, I can do that. I have confidence in myself that I can build this thing, because I've built the shelter that time with my dad. I built the shelter, and I built this sheer pot that time with my mom. And I always know that if I get an idea, I can find a way to make it into reality. That is a very, very important skill to have. I would say it's the most important skill. Being able, knowing with confidence, having confidence in yourself that you can turn your ideas into reality. How amazing is that? Okay, so this is very important, and that is why I've created a community on the platform School called 0 to First with Olliver, and it's about starting your first thing. So whether that be a side hustle, or whether that be just a thing like building a shelter, it's about starting your first project, whether money be involved or not. In the things I've done, there's always been like money involved, because that's something that like made it more game-like, that you have like this currency that you can collect more of. And so if you want, you can join that community for free. There's a link on the channel banner, and you can join there, and it will be amazing. There'll be courses in there. Right now, it's just a community where you can chat with other people and share ideas and introduce yourself. And then there's a classroom with different kinds of courses that will come out soon. So we're going to have all sorts of epic things in there. Go and join it, and I'll see you. Hope this video helped you, parents. Bye.